For many years, Sharon Boucher has been working magic with Marin County children, producing plays and musicals of high quality. Her dramatic and vocal training infuses the students with life-changing confidence. And despite the demands of teaching classes and producing shows, she somehow manages to maintain her own acting and singing career. A multi-talented and accomplished performer with a mile-long resume of roles in musicals, dramas, and comedy, Sharon is a pleasure to work with and to be around. She's always there with her lines and cues nailed, and she brings that extra exuberance and charisma to a production. She's a fabulous director and a great vocal coach. Sharon Boucher shares with her students her deep appreciation of the role that theater can play in a child's formative years. Her pleasure is to teach what she loves to others and watch them develop. She inspires sunshine, song, and excitement in children, and a personal confidence and joy in their own abilities that will be with them for a lifetime. A performance is fleeting, but the preparation of it, the weeks that children work on a production together with Sharon and with one another, that's never lost. That will always last. Herb Caen called Fred Larson the Moon Guy for his lush and startling photos of the moon in all its phases shining down on the landmarks of the city. Other colleagues on the San Francisco Chronicle called him Fast Fred because he always caught that split-second image that defined a news story or a moment of drama in the sky. Photography is an adventure to him. He has covered everything from weddings to sports to insurrections, giving the same close attention to each. Most of his photographs were originally published in black and white on newsprint without losing their luminosity or mystery, and that is a real accomplishment. It was a big loss to the newspaper when he left. These days, many people start their morning with Fred's blog, where he shares the beauty of his newest photographs. He has always been generous about sharing tips on how he does it, but like the signature dish of a master chef, following a recipe doesn't mean you'll be able to achieve the same success. Fred has, simply, an extraordinary eye, a sensitivity to nuance, perfect timing, and an offbeat way of looking at things that is unparalleled. He loves what he does. He feels blessed by his profession and is always delighted to share the beauty that he sees. Serious about his art, but not about himself, he has a twinkle in his eye and a bounce in his step. Fred Larson embodies the true spirit of Mill Valley. He makes us proud to be his neighbors. Steve McNamara, editor and publisher of the Pacific Sun from 1966 until 2004, was the leading voice of the Sun. With his wife Kay managing the office, the famous personals, circulation, and more, Steve championed reporting that tackled tough and timely issues. He believed that the best stories were told through and by the people involved. He recognized and encouraged talent and ambition, and his staff learned to do things beyond what they thought they could do. Barbara Boxer, after an unsuccessful first political contest, was encouraged to write on Marin issues. "Put the paper in the typewriter," Steve told the novice writer, "and speak through your typing. Write as you speak and you'll be fine." She followed his advice, became a regular contributor to the Sun, and won her next political race. Marin County takes its politics seriously, and citizens valued the Pacific Sun's thoughtful and well-researched election endorsements. Many voters took them to the polls. Steve wanted readers to know not only what happened, but why. He valued research and writing, and gave writers enough time to do both. He emphasized variety. You never knew what would appear in each week's paper. The Sun covered the environment, crime, social phenomena, public health, politics, the arts, and all the things that make Marin Marin, and Steve did it with grace and a sense of humor. He was always eager to stop what he was doing to hear a funny story or a goofy letter to the editor. Steve was proud of the paper's arts coverage, too, boasting that the Sun was the only alternate newspaper with an opera critic. He thought high-quality reviews of literature, theater, music, and art were essential to the paper. The staff knew they were part of a bigger thing that was important in the world. The Pacific Sun under Steve McNamara was something special for all of us, reaching deep into the community, involving us, and giving us all a voice. Richard Moore sets us all a remarkable example of lifelong creative productivity. A poet, former dancer, co-founder of KPFA Radio and head of special projects at KQED Television, prolific filmmaker, master runner, and social activist. His erudition, generosity, kindness, and humor make him a natural mentor to others, whether in television, film, or writing, giving them the confidence and the inspiration to step forward into their own worlds of creativity. He has a deep interest in knowledge and culture and an acute concern for the individual and the human condition, coupled with an outstanding ability to get things done. At the Redwoods, he gives lectures that stimulate lively discussions that continue at the dinner table and beyond. He leads line dancing for seniors with walkers, hosts variety shows, and demonstrates on Fridays with the Seniors for Peace. One friend at the Redwoods called him a man of contradictions, often lost in his own thoughts, but who can quickly and competently turn his attention to a resident in need, as he has done on numerous occasions. And indeed, one of his concerns as a poet is contradictions, in which, one reviewer says, worlds turn into words. Brenda Hillman praised his signature style of poetry, open, spare verse that foregrounds philosophic inquiry. As a poet, Richard Moore is a master of his craft, completely absorbed in the challenges and delights of language and philosophy. Bill Champlin comes from a family that loves the arts. At Tam High, he was a kid who soaked up everything in music that they could offer him, including chorus and beginning saxophone. Pretty soon, Bill was singing in the choir and playing in the regular and dance bands. He immersed himself in all things musical. Every chance he got, he was found playing the piano in one of the practice rooms. This is where he ate his lunch and met other students interested in music. Bill's natural leadership skills and musical abilities found further expression outside the high school. He organized his first band, the Opposite Six, and the group had so much local success that some of the members had to drop out because it was taking too much of their time. And so Bill formed the Sons of Champlin, and the rest is history. His sister Sally, also a performer, knows a different side of Bill's story. His musical gifts are known to millions. But few others know that his favorite cat was named Patty, and that freezing cold milk was his favorite drink, that brother and sister created their own personal language so no one else could eavesdrop, and that Bill kept the family awake with his drum pad playing night after night after night until they all wanted to kill him, and that his kindness knew no bounds, his loyalty no limits, and his love for family no end. His friend Huey Lewis has this to say about Bill. He was a hometown hero, an inspiration to us all. A window I looked through and said, this is what I'd like to do. Band music is a team sport. You rely on everybody, and you make other people in the band look good. As talented as Bill is, he's very generous and giving. and he's a gas to be with toe to toe. Bill Champlin is a consummate musician, a combination of talent and musicality, a musician's musician.